Hi everyone, I'm Meenakshi and I welcome you all to Tathastu, and today is 1st of September, and on this day in 1939 the World War II broke out officially. So on 1st of September 1939, the year was 1939 and date was 1st of September. So it marked the beginning of the Second World War. So in this video we will be seeing what were the reasons for that war, what were the major events which led to World War II, and what were the outcomes of World War II. So before proceeding, these are the courses which are offered by Tathastu-ICS for all of you, which is MSLV, Main Success Launch Vehicle, targeting specifically your mains examination. Admissions are open, you can get yourself enrolled. Second is your NCERT module, you can register for it. This PSLV, which will target your prelims examination, will be launched super soon. And lastly, we have philosophy optional by Tanu ma'am, and if your optional is philosophy, you can get yourself enrolled. Now, beginning with the lecture about the Second World War and the events which led to Second World War. So Second World War, or more prominently known as World War II, began on 1st of September and the year was 1939 and it continued up to 1945. So this was the years in which it started and it ended in 1945. So it was a conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945, as I said, and it touched almost every region of the globe. Means every country directly or indirectly was involved in this war, and one of the major turning points in the global history of 20th century. So if we talk about major events, now if we discuss about major events of the 20th century, that what were the major events of 20th century? So we remember few events: World War I, World War II, then this Cold War. So this World War II is one of the major events which happened in the 20th century, and other were World War I and this was World War II. Now in this war, World War I, which ended in 1919, and the Allies were the winner in World War I. So this war also happened between two main groups in World War II, which were the Allied powers and Axis powers. So these were basically two groups in which the various countries were divided. So in Axis power, as you can see, there was Germany, Italy and Japan. And if we talk about the Allied powers who emerged victorious in World War I as well. So in Allies power, there was Great Britain, which is UK also was part of this, and France. China was involved in to some extent, then it was Soviet Union, and then it was United States. They were involved from 1941 onwards in this war, USA and Soviet Union. So these are the Axis powers and the Allies power, the two major powers which were part of World War II. Now coming to what were the reasons which led to this a major global event of 20th century. So after World War I, the Treaty of Versailles, it was signed in 1919. And Germany was defeated in World War I, and this treaty was considered unjust because Germany was asked to pay for the losses and disarm its army. So basically Germany thought that this treaty is unjust to us as and to our nation. So this treaty was signed in 1919 after World War I, and it basically disarmed Germany and asked Germany to pay for all the losses of the war. Secondly, during this time, when we are talking about the events which led to the reasons which led to World War II, so during this time there were rising demands of imperialism. You can also connect this and this point: rise of Japan and demands of imperialism, rise of Japan, and during this time Germany was also rising as a major power. So there was rise of Japan and Germany, and there were demands of imperialism. So we know that At this point, India was ruled by the Britishers, and the Britishers has various colonies in different parts of the world. So there were demands of imperialism. These countries, Japan, Germany, they were becoming more powerful, and there was the rising demand of this imperialism that we would also colonize some countries. So this was also one of the reasons for World War II. Then there was failure of League of Nations. Now this League of Nations was established in 1919 after World War to secure peace. To secure a peaceful world, actually, that there should be peace, there should be no war, and if there is some conflict, there is some problem, that should be solved through agreement or pacifist policies rather than war. Because before that, World War I happened, and there were millions of deaths and a large scale destruction. This is why this League of Nations was established, but it failed to some extent, because during this period only, when we are talking about 1930, 1939, Japan, which was rising, and there were demand of imperialism as well. So Japan attacked Manchuria, and there were various other attacks as well. So this basically proved that this League of Nations was a failure, and there was we all have heard about this point, the Great Depression of 1929. It was seen by different nations. It was seen by industrialized nations such as Europe as different, and other nations, for example Asia, in a different perspective. So these were the various reasons for which led to our World War II. Now moving towards the events which lead to World War II, we are talking about Second World War. So there were some events which happened in 1936. Now from here onwards, Adolf Hitler, he remilitarized Rhineland, which was very near to France, and there was a treaty that this area should not be militarized, as it could be a threat to France. But Adolf Hitler did the opposite. He militarized that area, and in 1938, German annexation. From here on begins the German annexation, the expansionist policy of Adolf Hitler. He annexed the entire area of Austria. Now why he annexed Austria? Because he claimed that Austria had historically been part of Germany. It was just broken away from Germany after this World War I, but historically it was part of Germany. So he annexed the entire area of Austria, and the process was known as Anschluss. So 1938, Adolf Hitler did this. Now this picture, if you can see, this is this Rhineland militarization picture. I hope you can see it. And this is when Hitler arrived in Austria. We have seen that he annexed the entire Austria. So this is the picture when Hitler arrived in Austria. Now moving on, there were other significant events as well during this period. Hitler, after annexing Sudetenland, and this was at the border of Czechoslovakia. So after annexing this portion, he attacked and conquered Czechoslovakia as well in March 1939. Now at this point, Poland was assured by UK that if Hitler attacks you, if Germany attacks you, we will save you. At this point of time, when this Czechoslovakia was captured and annexed. Now moving towards August 23, 1939. This is a very important part, because Nazi Germany and Soviet Union, they signed a non-aggression agreement that if Germany attacks Poland, then Soviet Union would not interfere in it. So this was an agreement which was signed in 1939, that Nazi Germany and Soviet Union, they signed a non-aggression agreement and a secret protocol dividing Eastern Europe into spheres of influence between this Germany and Soviet Union. And also this pact said that if Germany attacks Poland, then Soviet Union would not interfere into it. Now this is the picture which in which this pact was signed between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. Now moving on, this is the immediate cause. So we have seen there were various events which led to this war. There was various reason, but whenever we study about a war, then there are various reason, back-end reasons, but then there is an immediate cause, and this was the immediate cause. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland, initiating World War II in Europe. So Germany annexed Polish corridor and Danzig city. Now this city was also very disputed because Germany claimed that this city was also part of historically it was part of Germany. So Adolf Hitler annexed this Polish corridor and this Danzig city, which he considered to be part of Germany. And the sudden attack on Poland is known as Blitzkrieg or the Lightning War, and Britain and France declared war in Germany. So as I said, that Poland was promised by Britain and France that if Hitler attacks you, if Germany attacks you, then we would be your savior, we will save you. So this is the picture when Germany attacked Poland. This was the German army on the borders of the Poland. Now this is the picture when Britain and France declared war on Germany. So this is the picture of Neville Chamberlain, who was coming out of 10 Downing Street after declaring a war on Germany. Now how did this, this war began in 1939, ended in 1945. So there was various events which took place between these years, but how this war ended and what was the outcome. So in Europe, World War II ended with the Germany surrender. So now all the events were started by Germany, but at the end Germany had to surrender following Hitler's suicide in May 1945. So many of you may not know, many of you may be knowing that Hitler committed suicide when he came to know that Germany's defeat was inevitable. So he committed suicide in May 1949 and Germany eventually surrendered. So we can conclude that the Allies' power were the victorious power in this World War. And in Pacific also, USA became part of this war when Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor. So Japan, where this demand of imperialism was also growing, became part of this war. So in the Pacific, with the Japanese surrender. So here Germany surrender and here the Japanese surrender. Why? Because US dropped 2 bombs on the 2 cities of Japan, which was Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and after that Japanese also surrendered and this war came to end. And I hope you found the session interesting. If you find it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.